Chevron Vice President for Policy, Government, and Public Affairs.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's my great pleasure to be here to represent Chevron's 68,000 employees worldwide, but in particular to represent Warner Williams, who's the Vice President of our Gulf of Mexico Business Unit, and our employees based here in Louisiana. Chevron jumped at the opportunity to get involved with the Super Bowl here in New Orleans, in particular to sponsor this weekend's volunteer program. It's the perfect alignment with Chevron's approach to communities and business. We don't want to be known just as a company that does business in a community. We want to be a company that invests in the communities that we do business in. We understand the value of partnership in our core business, and we definitely understand the values of partnerships in the communities where we live and work. We see a strong connection between healthy, vibrant communities and a healthy business environment. And that's good for business, and it's good for the communities where we live and work. So we were proud to have the opportunity to help New Orleans host the Super Bowl this weekend, but even more proud to get involved with something that we believe we have a lot of experience in, and that's putting human energy to work. We hope to recruit 8,000 volunteers for this weekend. We crossed the 17,000 threshold for this weekend. It's been just a phenomenal experience for our employees here in the Gulf Coast, and I hope when the clock reads 0 on Sunday that you won't let the enthusiasm and the commitment to building a greater New Orleans expire when time runs out of the clock. Because you started something here as a frequent visitor to the area. You started something phenomenal here. The transformation in the city is just unbelievable. And I congratulate all of you, and I encourage you to keep that up. We'll be here. We've been here for more than 60 years. We plan on being here another 60. So we'll be side by side with you and working to build to restore New Orleans to its rightful place as one of the world's most unique cities. And this weekend, you'll see 3 great teams in New Orleans. The 49ers, the Ravens, and 17,000 volunteers demonstrating the power of human energy. So thank you again. Congratulations on a fantastic weekend and showcase for the greater New Orleans area. It's a pleasure to be a part of it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Steve. And thank you, Chevron. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to bring up 3 members of our City Council in just a moment, but we were just given word that Hike for Katrina planted their 20,000th tree today. So congratulations to them. And we also want to recognize Jabari Greer, who's with us. Jabari with the Samaritan's Feet. Thank you, Jabari, for all your efforts as well. Very important program. Super Saturday of Service obviously covers the entire city, and each district in the city of New Orleans has received a project. And we are very fortunate to have with us 3 members of our City Council to give their remarks on the importance of these projects for the City of New Orleans. We're going to lead off with the Vice President of the City Council, former President of the City Council, and Council Member at Large, Jackie Clarkson.
Thank you all, and thank you all for being here, and I think it's all been said. But I want to thank the Commission and the Foundation of NORD for recreating the New Orleans Recreation Department. When it was founded in 1946, was effective in 47 by legislation. It was created as a private-public partnership. Thank you, Mayor Landrieu, for leading us back there. That's where we belong. And it's where we ought to be responsible to not only creating recreation that's par excellence, but sustaining and maintaining it. And that's what this creation allows for. It was written up in Life magazine in 1949 as a one-of-a-kind, one and only, best in the United States Recreation Department of Athletics and Culture. We're there again. We are there again. And I know because I was an original Nord athlete, okay? And I had tutus too. And we have our tutus. We still have our tutus. And so we are going to be, again, talked about around the world as recreating the greatest recreation department in the country. Ladies and gentlemen, this Super Saturday, this Super City, with our Super Bowl and our Super Saints, we are the catalyst, that is the catalyst, for bringing aboard the sustaining part of why cities get Super Bowls and why cities want Super Bowls and why the effort and the investment is more than worthwhile. Thank you all very, very much.
Thank you, Jackie. Now, ladies and gentlemen, from District A, where Palmer Park is coming alive today with lots of activity, please welcome Councilmember Susan Guidry.
I don't know, how many more wonderful days can we have? I really, Palmer Park, which is in District A, beautiful District A, and is at the corner of Claiborne and Carrollton, one of the busiest streets in our city and intersections in our city. And Palmer Park is just shining today thanks to the coats of paint on the archway, on the street lights that are throughout the park, the landscaping that was done by Hype for Katrina, by Green Light New Orleans, by a number of different organizations and folks who were down here to watch the game and read about this and just came out. It was really, really an experience this morning, Samaritan's Feet. We had some Tulane students talking very emotionally about their experience of washing the feet of young children and putting new shoes on them. So everyone I think grew and learned this morning and experienced a kind of blossoming. And at the same time, we had from down Claiborne Avenue, we had Harrell Playground, which is also in my district. They had their kids down there playing football at Palmer Park because they're waiting to reopen after they get the Superdome turf laid in their playground. Very exciting for them, and it's going to be the first time in 3 years they'll be able to host games at the playground. And Harrell has just been, thanks to NORDC, and the Harrell has just been getting better and better. Its pool is fixed, and everything is getting brighter for us, and that means for our children, and that means our future. So thank all of you, from the NFL to our host committee, to the corporate sponsors, and all of our incredible volunteers who have learned over the last 7.5 years that the way that we build a city is together, each one of us playing our part. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Susan. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Cynthia Hedgemorrell, Council Member, District D, and Home Turf.
Welcome to District D, the best district. I want to thank everyone who's been out here today. The NFL, of course. We are so excited about what's going on in the city of New Orleans. I look out here and I see the faces that have been out here working with us to bring back Pontchartrain Park. Gretchen and her dedication, and I'm not going to start names because if I do, there's just too many out here to name. But I do want to thank the effort that the NFL has put in putting children first. That's something that we ought to be doing in New Orleans moving forward. If you look out in Pontchartrain Park, you will see an area that was totally underwater 7 years ago. Not only do we have our homes back, not only do we have our neighbors back, but now we have a state-of-the-art baseball academy. We're the only non-baseball city to have a major league baseball academy. And it's through the partnership with the North Commission and with the city and with the Baseball League that we were able to do that. Our golf course, our Joe Bartholomew golf course that is packed every day, and if you want to get turf tee time, you got to stand in line. And I promised the mayor that if he would finish it, they would come. We are now showing that they will come. And One more thing about Wesley Barrow Stadium. We also have an indoor batting field and pitching. No, pitching. So nobody else has that too. That's why I think that you were really, really smart to come here. But I want to thank all of you. We did need all of the final touches. We needed the trees. We needed the paint. We needed the little minor things that little kids would notice. And I want to thank the mayor, because he wasn't here earlier, but it is through his leadership that we have not only been able to do what we do at Pontchartrain Park, but we're also going to be doing it at Hunter's Field today, which is in the 7th Ward. I've done it in the 9th Ward, the Upper 9. We have just generated so much enthusiasm to bring our parks back, to make our kids know that we want them to not only eat healthy, but we want them to exercise. So again, to everyone, all of you on the stage, all of you out here, especially our volunteers, thank you, thank you, thank you. You just don't know how much you're doing for the city of New Orleans.
Thank you, Cynthia. Ladies and gentlemen, Louisiana and New Orleans is blessed to have a dynamic leadership in Congress, and we have the best of the best. A New Orleanian, the daughter of the Ursulines, a terrific U.S. Senator, our senior Senator, Mary Landrieu.
It is truly a joy to be here and to be with all of you all celebrating just this magnificent week and time for our city, our region, and our state. Having been a kid that grew up playing on a Nord playground, I'm happy to be back at Pontchartrain Park, one of our favorite places. Mitch and I grew up playing on ball fields all over this city with our 7 siblings. And so we know a little bit about the parks and all the different areas of the city. And what's so exciting about the rebirth of this park and all the parks, whether they're on the West Bank, Jackie, or the East Bank, is that all of our children are going to get to play on all the sports. And it's not just sports, but dancing and art and music. We really want to build the greatest recreational, private-public partnership in the country. And you're seeing the beginnings of it. And it's done because of federal support, city support, regional support, corporate support, Rod Entergy, Chevron, to the Nord Foundation that's raised private money. And I have to say, to the dynamic leadership of a spectacular mayor of the city of New Orleans and the city council. What did you play? I was a second base. What did you play? I played second base, center field, and a bench. Okay, second base, center field, and mostly the bench. Now, I was a star catcher and second base, and I taught him everything he knows about baseball, all right? But anyway, you all know. So I want to thank particularly Mary Matlin and James Carville. Let's give them a round of applause. I thought Mitch got a lot of publicity, but James Carville and Mary Matlin even get more than Mitch. So they're all doing great, and they deserve it. They're doing great, being champions for our city and our region. And just one more word, if I could. I hope that the publicity about the rebirth and regrowth of New Orleans in this field of dreams, where we're standing to build a city of dreams in a region that we could only ever imagine, where everyone can participate, everyone has an opportunity, every kid can grow and prosper and reach their potential. I want my colleagues in New York and New Jersey and Maryland and Connecticut to have hope watching this, that they too can build their communities. And I thank all of you. The volunteers, my favorite little Connie down here that's helped plant 20,000 trees, Habitat for Humanity, that's fantastic, all the groups are. But you know, we're going to roll up our sleeves and help our friends on the East Coast. God bless you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Senator. Ladies and gentlemen, if you went into Webster's Dictionary and you looked for a Super Bowl chairman of host committee, you would see the names of Mary Matlin and James Carville. That's how we define it going forward now. Please welcome New Orleanians of the Year by Gambit Magazine and newspaper, Mary Matlin.
My husband is not here. He is doing an event with 12-year-old boys for whom he is the patron saint. So, but my Super Bowl host husband is here, and all the people that they are, that should be thanked, are being thanked, who takes less credit for more work is Rod West. Not only was this his brainchild, he was also headed up reaching into the community to involve and engage and employ new businesses. So there's more sweeping involvement across the entire community, from the oldest to the youngest, that was put in place by Rod. And as our mayor says, he did it on time, on task. I asked him the other day, how are you tired? He goes, I've had less than 3 hours sleep a night for the past 3 years. So Rod West, my Super Bowl host husband, and he's running Entergy, and that's going to be. So, yes, Senator, my husband can generate. He has quite the propensity to generate press wherever he goes. I stopped going to the media center yesterday because it's like a very dangerous place to be between James and a camera. So, but this has been not just an honor, it's been a privilege, and it's been so easy to brag about this city. And as it turns out, as we keep doing more and more media, the first round of stories were about the food and the music and the culture and the art and the architecture. And the stories are increasingly turning to the people. Everybody that's coming, and this is here, and this is the most covered Super Bowl in the history of Super Bowls from all over the world, have all come to what is the true blessing of this most unique and beautiful city in the world, and it's people. So thank you for
Thank you, Mary. Ladies and gentlemen, cities around the nation would line up and say, we want to do something like this, but in the case of this particular situation, only NFL cities can do this, and that means you have to have an NFL team here in the city of New Orleans or in your city to do something as spectacular as this program. And we are very fortunate for the last several, or more than 2 decades, to have the leadership of a family that has really made a difference in our community in so many ways, and we know what that means, including that Lombardi Trophy several years ago for the New Orleans Saints. But when you get down to paying it forward, the New Orleans Saints know how to do it, and to represent them is the leader of that organization, the vice chairman of the board of the New Orleans Saints, Rita Benson-LeBlanc.
So I think what over 5,200 media members from around the world are experiencing here is the inclusion of our entire community, the authenticity of our community, of how we engage, how we work together. I have been taking it for granted how much we all work together, how much we joke and laugh and do everything from riding horses or baseball. But it's in our blood, it's in our history, and if you weren't born here, you're still included in it. And that leadership with inclusion, our public-private partnership that you keep hearing over and over as a theme, is incredible. We also have that at the NFL. The NFL Foundation, newly named, but it's pulling together all of the charitable efforts that we do, has come together. The owners designate those funds for charity and where they go. And the home team, the Saints, we designate where that goes. But particularly when there's a Super Bowl, we want to make a big impact. The history of that has been a youth education town and a Yet Center, and we have one in New Orleans. But considering this is our 10th Super Bowl, and what Frank Sapovitz with special events, and also members from the charitable elements of the NFL, Lexi Gallagher is here, and also Jeff Miller is representing the league. We wanted to do something that was a greater leave behind, and that evolved into the Super Saturday of Service and how we would hit all these parks. But as you're seeing, we included everyone in the decision. We talked with the mayor, we talked with Rod and Nord, and we kept current in everything that was going on. So it was the best plan and it was the fairest plan to hit as many parks as possible. So proud to be here at Pontchartrain Park. It's clear that the leadership of Chevron makes this possible. The $500,000 that they contributed, that Mitch also as a matching grant contributed to this organization, is incredible, and the volunteers. But people like Gretchen and people like Herbie, who is the local neighborhood association, this is how it sticks. And this is how, we're all the people that are talking up here, but those kids are playing football right now. And everybody on the bench that we can't really see, but thank you to everyone who's from Pontchartrain Park, You're going to get to enjoy this. So the greatest pleasure of being a host team, but also a host city, is that this is the gift, this is the present that we get to keep and keep building on and keep enjoying. Mitch, can't commend you enough for all the things that have come together. Mary, for all the federal funding all along the way. Our council leadership, our sponsorship leadership, and Mary and James and I just have more fun and just see each other about every 2 or 3 hours all day long. And so, but Steve and Don and everyone from Chevron, Ron. Anyway, we just can't include thanking everyone enough for also being those leaders that we work together for this team. But Play 60, the kids that will happen here, the lessons that they will learn, and the efforts that they will make to be active, be healthy, that's our future and that's our commitment. And last but thank you to all those committee members that are here. It's been a pleasure. And for everyone reporting, remember the next Super Bowl we hope to have is 2018.
Thank you, Rita. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the microphone the dynamic mayor of the dynamic Super Bowl 47 city, Mitch Landrieu.
Okay. Let's go. Jeff, thank you so much. Rita, Steve, thank you. John, Rod, Mary, and Mary. Married to the second power. That's serious. You got that? You got those two together? And to my partners on the city council and to all of you, so many of you have been thanked out there. I'm looking at everybody in this audience that has such an incredible amount to do with what this weekend means. And I think the overarching message is that we're one team, one fight, one voice, one city. And when you pull together, this city can do anything. And this is not just a game. The people of New Orleans are helping America find the way that she can rebuild herself. And it's starting here on the ground in this beautiful spot called Pontchartrain Park. And I am just officially overwhelmed with how incredible everybody has done. I have my Deputy Mayor Cedric Grant here. He and his team are the guys that are on the ground in the mud. You know, all the years, all those streets, and to all of you guys on the NORDC Commission, and to all of you in the public-private partnerships for Hike for Katrina and Habitat for Humanity and our partners Chevron and Entergy. You guys are just unbelievable. And I want you to know that everything that we're doing today was well thought out and it was well planned, and it was part of the long-term vision for the city of New Orleans. This park that you're in right now is the site of the oldest historic African-American neighborhood in the city of New Orleans. And this particular redevelopment is part of major renovations that we did at the golf course and the tennis courts. And then the housing piece right next to Suno. We're not just rebuilding playgrounds, we're rebuilding a place, we're rebuilding families. We're rebuilding the ability for a great American city to stand itself back up again. And today, with the NFL, we didn't just focus on one spot like we did in 2002. We have 5, and every one of them is integrated into the development of a neighborhood and schools, and there's a much broader vision so that we can build towards the 21st century. And Rita just a minute ago, now I can't give y'all one because there are only 33 of these, but this says 2018. That's what that pin says right there, right? And the reason there are only 33 is because I have one, and there's one for each NFL owner. And each one of those people is going to be responsible for saying, we're coming back to New Orleans to help them celebrate their 300th anniversary so that we can rebuild the city. I would just leave with this final message of, after the message of gratitude and thanks, and just being overwhelmed with how well the people of New Orleans have reflected themselves to the rest of the world, that to the people of New Orleans, this is what it feels like to win. This is what it feels like to come together and to unite. This is what it feels like to really lay it down for a long period of time, have a good plan, to compete against the rest of the world, and to stand on top of that. A very few short years ago, we were 15 feet underwater, and we were on the bottom of every list that matters. And today, we're on the top of the world, and we're beginning to soar on the list and really make a difference in the ones that matter in people's lives. And that's because everybody has come together as a team and worked towards making New Orleans as great as she always could be. So thank you all very much. I'm blessed to be working with you guys. God bless you.